Hey guys, it's GiGi of GiGi Eats Celebrities, and you know what I need right now? I need an energy drink. Oh god, that one almost came out of my nose. Okay, so I know what I just did may come as a huge shock to some of you because I'm always talking about healthy eating. But before you guys call me a hypocrite, let me clarify something for you. I personally drink energy drinks, yeah, like this one right here, and I don't think they're that bad. I really don't. Although energy drinks are definitely not antioxidant-rich coffee or green tea. When I mention energy drinks throughout this video, I want to clarify that I'm talking about sugar-free energy drinks because, as you all know, I don't consume sugar. So what I plan to do in this video is specifically go through each ingredient that is listed on this label and tell you all what they are and if they have any health benefits or not. So let's take a sip, shall we? I actually wrote out everything on pieces of paper here, so please forgive me if I'm reading from this piece of paper. Okay, so the first ingredient in this energy drink right here is carbonated water. You guys all know what carbonated water is, right? In other words, it's also called soda water or sparkling water, and it's water that's been infused with carbon dioxide gas under pressure. Some carbonated waters contain minerals like sodium to improve taste, but some natural sparkling waters are actually collected from mineral springs, thus contain naturally occurring minerals. Now, some of you may have heard that carbonated water isn't good for you. However, as long as the carbonated water is sugar-free, they're perfectly fine for your health, and you know what? They may even improve your digestion. On top of that, they may even help you eat less because the bubbles in carbonated water actually give you the feeling of fullness. Feeling full on no calories? I really don't understand why people think carbonated water is not good for them. I mean, it's water, people, and we all need water. Okay, the next ingredient on this label here is citric acid. Now, if you can't tell by the name of this acid, it comes from citrus. Whoa! And citrus has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects on the body, which is a good thing. And interestingly enough, even though it's called citric acid, it actually has alkalizing effects on the body because it counteracts the effect of eating acidic foods like meat and processed grains. Now, there are definitely some cons circulating around citric acid in that the citrus is typically genetically modified. And let's be real, guys, pretty positive that the citric acid in here is genetically modified. So if you happen to be someone who cares about GMOs, then maybe you shouldn't drink this or any other energy drink on the market, or any other drink on the market in general. But if you don't care, keep watching this video because there really isn't enough evidence to determine whether or not GMOs are actually that bad for you. I already see people leaving comments below. I can't wait to read them, people. I can't wait to read them. Now, I have to admit there's another not so lovely con about citric acid. Some studies have actually found that citric acid may impair immune function, thus making people susceptible to mold allergies. Now, personally, I've never experienced any of those types of symptoms before, and I drink one of these babies a day. So for me, citric acid is a non-issue. Okay, moving on to the next ingredient, erythritol. If you've seen my YouTube videos, you know I'm obsessed with erythritol. It is my favorite sweetener. I put it in everything. I even put it on salmon, as you guys saw on my pumpkin spice salmon video. Yeah, I love this stuff. Erythritol is extremely low in calories, it doesn't spike insulin levels, making it amazing for diabetics, and it tastes almost identical to sugar. No weird, funky aftertaste. And on top of that, it has actually been deemed completely safe to eat. As studies have shown, there are no real harmful side effects from consuming it. That being said, since erythritol is classified as a sugar alcohol, it could potentially cause some of you some digestive issues, or in other words, it could make you toot. Personally, for me, it doesn't do that. However, let me go into further detail as to why erythritol is different than other sugar alcohols. You see, this sweetener is different because most of it gets absorbed in the bloodstream before reaching the colon. So minimal gassy side effects have been reported. That being said, I did have to state that it could cause such issues because everybody's different. Oh, and you want to know something really cool about erythritol? Well, studies have shown that erythritol acts as an antioxidant and may actually improve blood vessel function, which may reduce the risk of heart disease. Reduce the risk of heart disease, people. Of course, a lot more studies need to be done, and when paired with lots of caffeine, maybe not so much. But if we're talking about sugar alternatives, erythritol is the tits. Okay, the next ingredient that is on the label of my beautiful energy drink right here is taurine. You guys have probably heard about this ingredient everywhere, and you've probably read claims that it's not so good for you. But let me read to you what I found. Taurine is a type of amino acid that can be found in fish, meat, and dairy. And a lot of people actually take it as a supplement because researchers have deemed it a wonder molecule because it potentially has the ability to maintain proper hydration and electrolyte balance in your cells and removes waste products in your body that could lead to fatigue. So I mean, of course energy drinks are going to include taurine in their recipe. Okay. On to the next ingredient, sodium citrate. Let's think about this ingredient's name logically. Sodium, salt, citrate, citrus fruit. So basically, this is sour salt. Now, typically sodium citrate is used as a preservative, and it gives things that it's in a little extra flavor. Hence why energy drinks, including my Monster right here, tend to have a bit of a tart flavor to them. Even if they're flavored, say, cotton candy. Yeah, guys, there are energy drinks on the market that are flavored like cotton candy and birthday cake. And I've tried them and they're disgusting. Anyways, that's really all I have to say about sodium citrate. The next ingredients are a little more controversial. Natural and artificial flavors. These two ingredients may be a little harder to back up than the other ingredients because natural and artificial flavors are just so vague. According to the US FDA's Code of Federal Regulations, natural flavors are created from substances extracted from plants or animal sources such as spices, fruits, and vegetables, and their juices, dairy products, meat, poultry, fish, eggs, and plant materials. That being said, chemicals can actually be added to these natural flavors, and we honestly don't know what they really are. Some studies have disclosed that these added chemicals could be extracted from almonds, cinnamon, lemon, orange, or anal secretions of beavers. I mean, that's natural, so I guess it's okay? Question mark. For vegetarians and vegans, not so much. Anal secretions of beavers, yum. And then we have artificial flavors. And believe it or not, artificial flavors actually have fewer chemicals than natural flavors. And some believe them to actually be safer than natural flavors because they're produced under tightly controlled laboratory settings. That being said, artificial flavors aren't all that wonderful either. And some artificial flavors have actually been linked to adverse effects, but the concentrated amounts used in studies was far more than one would ever consume in food. Ever. So again, more research needs to be done. Might as well do my own research right now. Pinkies up, people, pinkies up. Okay, on to the next ingredient. Now, I'm not really sure how one is to pronounce this word, but I'm gonna try my best. Panax ginseng flavor. Did I get that right? Did I get that wrong? I don't know. You let me know in the comments below. So Panax rhymes with Xanax. You know, the drug that aids in calming people's tits, aka reduces anxiety. But guess the other similarity Panax has to Xanax. Panax ginseng has actually been referred to as an adaptogen because it very well may help people cope with stress, along with anxiety, depression, general fatigue, gallstones, bad breath, sleep problems, and boosting immune function. The next ingredient we have is L-carnitine. This amino acid, you know, a building block of protein, is actually naturally produced in the human body. Supplementation of this amino acid is generally used to treat conditions such as congestive heart failure, circulation problems, infertility, overactive thyroids, and to improve athletic performance, as it helps the body produce energy. So what's the big deal, people? Seriously, what is the big deal? Okay, so if you're someone who suffers from seizures, you may not want to supplement with L-carnitine. But then again, really shouldn't be drinking energy drinks either. The next ingredient is L-tartrate. Now again, if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, my apologies, but To me, that's how it's gonna roll off the tongue. L-tartrate goes hand in hand with L-carnitine, skipping down your bloodstream. No, but seriously, L-tartrate, which is an antioxidant, actually helps L-carnitine get to work in preventing exercise fatigue and muscle weakness. Oh, guess what ingredient is next, people? My favorite one, caffeine! Who else loves caffeine? This girl's obsessed. This chemical, however, is a rather tricky one to discuss because everybody reacts differently to it. For me, I could totally consume 300 to 400 milligrams of caffeine in a day and be completely fine. That being said, there are some people out there that can't even smell, say, a Diet Coke without getting a headache. And on top of that, the caffeine content in energy drinks varies tremendously. While my beloved White Stallion right here has only 140 milligrams in an entire can, a Bang energy drink, for instance, has 300 milligrams of caffeine in a can. So here's the deal. I can't really tell you if caffeine is a good or bad ingredient because for you, it may be good or it may be bad. You personally have to do your own research to determine whether or not you can handle caffeine. No one can tell you what to do when it comes to caffeine. However, I have to just throw out that if you drink 500 to 600 milligrams of caffeine a day, you may experience symptoms such as insomnia, nervousness, restlessness, irritability, heart palpitations, and muscle twitching. Oh, actually, there is one thing that I have to tell you not to do when it comes to caffeine. Do not mix caffeine with alcohol, i.e. Red Bull and vodka. I know it might taste amazing, but that right there is the definition of playing with fire. Anyways, moving on to the next ingredient, which happens to be sucrose. It's another sweetener, guys. You've heard of Splenda, right? Well, sucrose is another name for it, and it's a no-calorie sweetener. Typically, I stick with erythritol, monk fruit extract, and stevia to sweeten up my life. But because I love my morning energy drink, I do allow sucrose in my life at least once a day. The reason why I'm not super into sucrose is because when it's in its powdered form, it's usually mixed with dextrose, which is sugar, by the way. On top of that, studies have shown that when heated above 300 degrees Fahrenheit, sucrose produces substances that may increase the risk of cancer. Another negative of sucrose is that it may be linked to reducing the population of good bacteria in your gut. However, studies have only been done on rats. And guess what, people? We're not rats. Now, obviously these negatives are quite alarming, but the only time I consume sucrose is in my morning cup of joe. Just kidding, it's an energy drink, not coffee. And I keep this baby at a cool 30 degrees Fahrenheit in the fridge. So, no cancer-causing substances are created? Question mark? I have no idea how this is processed, so maybe there are. I'm not entirely sure. I might have to give Monster a call to see how they put their energy drinks in the cans. The next ingredient on the list is sorbic acid, and it's a food preservative that has been deemed safe. However, rarely, if ever, some may have mild reactions after consuming it, such as light skin itching. And moving on to the next ingredient, benzoic acid. This is a food preservative that in small doses has no negative effect on the body. But if massive quantities are consumed, it can actually be lethal. Not to worry though, people, not to worry. It would actually be insanely difficult to ingest that much. And moving on to the next ingredient, niacinamide, which is vitamin B3. Yep, niacinamide is a vitamin, people. However, it's not to be confused with niacin, which is also a B vitamin, because they do different things in the body. Now, if you want more information on niacin, I have a link to that in the description below. But since this video is getting long as fork, I'm going to simply talk just about niacinamide. Supplementing with niacinamide can potentially help with acne and rosacea. It can also aid in memory loss, preventing PMS headaches, improving circulation, preventing cataracts, and it may aid in calming muscle spasms. Sounds pretty good to me. The next ingredient on the list is D-calcium, you ready for this? Pantothenate. Again, I'm going to apologize a million times over for my pronunciation of these words, but bear with me. Would you look at that? Another B vitamin. And this time we're talking about vitamin B5, which has been linked to improved stamina and reduced brain fog. Two things you definitely want in your energy drink you're smashing, right? The next ingredient is something that is very popularly seen in a bunch of different foods, and I'm going to pronounce it as asulfame potassium. I'm butchering these words, I know it, but again, we're good. It's plastered up on the screen so you know what I'm talking about. This happens to be another artificial sweetener lurking within my energy drink. This sweetener is 200 times sweeter than sugar, and it's a bit controversial, as some studies believe this sweetener, along with all other artificial sweeteners, can disrupt appetite regulation and blood sugar control. These are very common criticisms with all artificial sweeteners, and for me personally, I have never witnessed such side effects. That being said, the FDA recommends that it's safe to consume roughly 15 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day. Or in other words, you'd have to drink 12-ounce cans of Coke Zero a day. And that's if you're 150 pounds. That was not a challenge. Please don't try and do that. I just wanted to showcase the fact that that's a lot of soda to be drinking in a day. So you're probably fine if you drink one can or one drink of something that has this ingredient in it. The next ingredient is Inositol. This is a vitamin-like substance, and in fact, it was considered a B vitamin, but the title has since been revoked because we can actually produce it ourselves. Inositol has been used to try and treat nerve problems related to diabetes, high blood pressure, high triglyceride levels, bad cholesterol, depression, ADHD, and PTSD. It has also been used to aid the nervous system and serotonin production. That being said, inositol can be found as one of the last ingredients in this can right here. So I'm thinking there's not really much inositol in this can to truly help with any of that. But regardless, studies have not said anything negative about inositol, so it's been considered safe. Okay. I'm not gonna pronounce the next ingredient, I'm just gonna splash it across the screen right now so you can see what I'm talking about. This is another B vitamin. And maybe by now you've caught on to the fact that B vitamins give people energy. And I mean, we are talking about energy drinks here, people, so I'm glad they include B vitamins. Now, since this ingredient is also listed as one of the last on the label, there really isn't enough in this can to do much good, but vitamin B6, if supplemented, can maintain the health of your nerves, skin, and red blood cells. This B vitamin also helps convert what you ingest into fuel. So, it's helping you convert the contents of this energy drink into fuel. The next ingredient is another one I can't pronounce. Whoopee! And I'm not gonna embarrass myself by trying to. So again, here it is on screen for you. Now, you've all heard of vitamin B12 shots, right? People do this because they're tired and they think it's gonna help rev their engines. Well, this ingredient in particular is another name for those shots. I guess those in charge of creating energy drink formulas assume people who consume them are low on vitamin B12. Thus, added to the drink to help spike their energy levels. That being said, if you get too much vitamin B12, which you most likely won't get from just one can of an energy drink, the side effects could include dizziness, headaches, skin swelling, indigestion, diarrhea, and irregular heartbeat. This is why I personally think getting a vitamin B12 shot is kind of stupid. That being said, some of you might think I'm stupid for drinking energy drinks, so there's that too. To each their own, right? To each their own. And on top of that, it's actually really easy to eat enough vitamin B12. Check out all of the food that contain a bunch of vitamin B12. That was the last ingredient on this can. That was it. The video is coming to a close. Woo! Thank God, because my mouth is exhausted. That being said, I really hope that I cleared up some of the confusion you guys might have had around energy drinks. I really felt the need to go through every single ingredient on the label because they're all really important for my argument that sugar-free energy drinks are really not that bad. Now, I'd finish that sentence with, for you, but as I mentioned earlier, we are all completely different. Thus, we all process things differently. So I cannot stress this enough. Be your own guinea pig. If you drink an energy drink and you feel as though you're bouncing off the walls in a bad way, then maybe they're not for you. You are the only person who can tell yourself whether or not you should drink an energy drink. Now, in terms of my own body, I thrive on energy drinks. Whee! 1 energy drink a day along with a healthy diet. But did you hear what I just said? 1 energy drink a day. I'm not pounding 4 of these bad boys a day. And I'm certainly not mixing one of these with any alcohol. Because guys, I don't drink. Nope. I drink my energy drink the smart way. I sip it first thing in the morning before I power through my workouts. So in summary, I really don't think energy drinks are all that bad. And they only get a bad rap because, like most things in life, people tend to abuse them. Yikes! Guys, that was a really long video, and I appreciate you powering through with me. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below as to what you think about energy drinks, specifically sugar-free ones. If you do in fact consume them, which one is your favorite, how you feel after ingesting them. I really just want to hear your thoughts. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.